What would I do if I had to start a direct selling or network marketing business again today in 2026? Hello, and welcome back to my weekly podcast. So, today I want to answer a question I've actually asked myself a few times, and then I'm going to share the answers with you. What would I do if I had to start a direct selling or network marketing business all over again today? Hello, lovelies. If you are new here, I am Penny Inchers, your direct selling success business coach, and I help women just like you to make more money in your direct selling and network marketing business by learning what the right Facebook strategies are to attract people to you, to make those sales, to build know, like, and trust, and all of the things that you need to know to build a more successful direct selling or network marketing business. So let's dive into today's topic. Now, I love feedback. So as you're listening, if you got a spot there where you can jot some comments, you go for it. Send me a DM, and don't forget, if you found this valuable, do share me with your direct selling or network marketing business friends. All right, so what would I do if I had to start a direct selling or network marketing business all over again today? Not in 2006. And for those of you who don't know me or haven't heard my story before, that's when I got into direct selling back in 2006, and I spent 16 years in the industry building a highly successful multi-million dollar business, right? So if I had to start again today, not in 2006, not when Facebook was brand new, there was actually no Facebook when I started in direct selling. Not before Reels, AI, and algorithms. God, that word's a bit of a tricky one sometimes, isn't it? If someone handed me a starter kit tomorrow and said, Penny, you've got to build this business from scratch, what would I actually do? Because here's the thing, I wouldn't do everything I did the first time, all those many years ago, back to, 20 years ago. Some things I would absolutely repeat. Some things I'd never do again. And so much of what I've learned hasn't come just from building my own highly successful multi-million dollar direct selling business, but it's actually come from coaching hundreds of women from so many different direct selling and network marketing companies over the last 5 or so years. That's how long it is that I have been an independent business coach in the industry. And I've watched what's working, right? I watch what's not working. And from watching too, the women who gain that momentum and the women who stay stuck for years, right? So today I thought I'd take you behind the scenes. And if I had to start again tomorrow, these are the things I would focus on. These are the 10 things I would focus on, right? So I'm going to walk you through these 10 things. Number one, and you might find this, you might be going, what? But I'm going to tell you why. I will explain. I would stop trying to sell products, right? And I'd start building trust. Right? This was one of my biggest lessons. When I first started, I genuinely believed that if people saw enough products, they'd eventually buy, right? So, when Facebook turned up in the space, oh God, when was that? 2008, 2009, I was on from the get-go. I'd post another product photo, right? Then another, and I'd get excited when the new catalog arrived because suddenly I had another 30 things to post about, right? Sound familiar? Love to know. The problem was people weren't following me because they wanted to see products all day, right? They were following me because they wanted to know me. Nowadays, I would spend far more time helping people get to know who I am. I'd tell stories, share little moments, talk about why I love what I do. I would let people see my life. Why? Because people buy from people that they know, like, and trust, right? The products matter, of course, but trust sells the products, and your passion for what you do and why you do it is what actually brings the sales in, right? Number two, second one, I'd learned Facebook properly, right? Not just enough to post. And look, back in the early days, I was just kind of work, like making it up, trying to work it out, right, along the way, right? I would actually learn how to use it strategically, right? And like that's what I teach women in direct selling and network marketing these days. I'll be doing that for years, right? And I think this is where so many women struggle. They've never actually been taught Facebook for business. It's different to, just using Facebook is different to using Facebook to build a business, right? Loads of women have been handed a business, joined a business, it depends. Like, sometimes companies, do like free join and things like that, right? You could call that being handed a business, right? But nobody actually handed them the marketing manual, right? So they guess, copy other people, hope something works, rather like, throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping it sticks. And let me tell you, hope is not a business strategy. And when it doesn't work, they assume that Facebook doesn't work, right? But that's not the case, right? Usually what it is that nobody has shown them how it actually works, right? So if I started again today, joining a new direct selling or network marketing business, and just nudge, I'm not looking to join a company. So no messages saying, hey, do you want to join my company, right? I am an independent business success coach for women in direct selling and network marketing, right? But, if I was starting again today, I would invest the time learning Facebook properly right from the beginning, right? Because the quicker you understand how the platform works, the quicker your business grows when you want to be using Facebook to build a direct selling or network marketing business, right? If you want to be attracting new leads into your world, you need to understand how to use Facebook properly for business, right? Okay, next, number 3. I would stop comparing. This is a big one, actually. I'd stop comparing my beginning to someone else's chapter 20, right? Comparison is absolutely the thief of joy, right? Because, if social media had been what it is today, back when I started, I reckon comparison would have been one of my biggest battles, right? Because, and I want you guys to have a think about this one and think, have you done this, right? You can scroll for 5 minutes on Facebook and convince yourself everyone else is making thousands. Everyone else is recruiting. Everyone else knows exactly what they're doing. Meanwhile, you're wondering why your reel got 27 views. Sound familiar, right? Comparison steals confidence. Confidence drives action, and action creates results, right? I've coached women over the years who were convinced that they weren't good enough, right? That they were hopeless at Facebook, they were hopeless at making sales, etc., etc. They came to me, they learned how to do it, they got the support, they built their confidence, and 6 months later, they're doubling their sales. Okay. It makes it, learning what is right. It makes a difference, right? Nothing magical happened. I didn't wave a magic wand. I do some days wish I had a magical wand. Nothing magical happened, right? They simply stopped watching everyone else and started working on themselves, right? Making sure they understood what the right strategies were and took action on it, and stopped comparing themselves to everybody else around them, whether that's your upline, your downline, your sideline, or some other random person that you've seen posting. Comparison is such a thief, right? Thief of joy, but also thief of progress, right? Thief of confidence. All right, number 4. I would build my personal brand from day one. And look, if you're in my world, you would have probably heard me talking about personal branding quite a bit over the last week. It just kind of popped up that it was like, again, something that so many women in direct selling and network marketing are missing. If you follow me on Facebook, you might have seen me posting about being a purple cow in a field of dairy cows, right? So, and there is a podcast about being the purple cow in a field of dairy cows too. So if you want that one, just type purple cow or send me a DM saying purple cow and I'll know what link to send you, right? Now, whenever I say personal brand, some people switch off because they think, oh, that's just for social media influencers. But you know what? That is not true. So not true. Your personal brand is simply, what's the easiest way to put it? Why should someone choose you? Right? Because at the end of the day, there are hundreds, thousands of women selling similar products to you. Okay, either exactly the same or similar, right? So why you? Why would they buy from you, right? Why would someone choose you? That's what your personal brand answers, right? People don't remember perfectly curated posts. They remember personalities, they remember stories, they remember kindness, humor, consistency, values, the way that you make them feel, right? And if I started again, I wouldn't be hiding behind my products. I'd let people get to know Penny. All right. And that's what you need to do too. And I get, that does take confidence, and learning the right way to do it. That really does make such a difference with your confidence. So you can put yourself out there and actually see the results that you want to see. All right, we are up to number 5 for those. I'm holding up my hand for 5 fingers for those of you who are watching rather than just listening. Number 5, I would become known for helping, not pitching, right? Because this changes everything. When your first thought is, how can I help someone today? Your content changes. Your conversations change, your confidence changes as well. And instead of trying to convince people, you simply focus on becoming useful, right? And that's attractive. People naturally lean towards people who make their lives easier, better, happier. Insert whatever it is you do and who you are, right? Number 6, and this is the biggie. This is the biggie. Number 6, I would find a coach much earlier. Right? This one probably would have saved me years. Now, don't get me wrong. I was really fortunate and I had incredible leaders, right? And I learned so much from them. But looking back, there were so many mistakes I could have avoided if I'd had someone helping me personally, especially when it came to learning Facebook for Business, right? Now, I've gone on to, learn all of this stuff. But back in the day, I was just like, trying to work it out. I was just trying to figure it out on my own, right? And sometimes we think that we're saving money by figuring it out ourselves, but actually often we're paying with something much more expensive, and that's our time. Like, most of us are super busy. Most of us, right, are juggling lots of different things, right? And your time is money. Your time is valuable, right? I often actually, something I hear a lot from the women inside my Beehive membership program is, I wish I'd found you years ago. I've heard that so many times. I wish I'd found you years ago, right? Not because I'm a miracle worker, right? But because having someone shorten the learning curve makes such a difference, right? Because you know what? You don't know what you don't know. Let me say that again. You don't know what you don't know. And it's so true when it comes to Facebook and understanding the Facebook strategies you need to build a business, right? All right, number 7, I would stop looking for quick wins and build systems, right? Look at the long game, right? In all honesty, to build a long-term sustainable business, you need to look forward, right? And you need to be consistent, and you need to have those systems in place that keeps you going, keeps you on track, right? And it's one of the biggest differences between beginners and people who build long-term businesses, right? Beginners chase today's sale. Experienced business owners build something that creates sales next month too, right? You need to I'd have a plan, right? Let's Penny get back to staying on track. Was if I was going to start a direct selling business in 2026, this is what I would do. This is what I do today, right? I'd have a plan. I'd know what content I was creating for social media. I'd know where people were going after they found me. Facebook funnel. I'd have simple systems because systems help create consistency, okay? And consistency creates momentum, okay? And that's what I want for you, okay? Number 8. This could be a biggie as well. Number 8, I would get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And I will say I did this a long back, all the way back, right? But I'll tell you something else, right? I still do things that make me nervous, right? People often assume confidence means you stop feeling uncomfortable. Nope, definitely not, right? Confidence means you keep moving anyway, right? I remember the first Facebook Live I did. I was so nervous. I worried what people would think. What if nobody watched? What if I stuffed up? All of the things, right? So insert all the things that run through your head if you've never done a Facebook Live or you avoid doing them. Maybe you've done some here and there, but you've avoided doing, for the most part, you avoid doing them, right? But you know what? I survived and you will survive too, right? And then I did another one and another and another and another and another, right? And I've been doing Facebook Lives for more than a decade, right? Confidence isn't something you wait for. It is something that you build. And that's actually really reassuring, right? Because some people think that you're either born with confidence or you're not. Confidence can absolutely be learned, right? And something I teach as well. Because as I say, you can learn confidence, right? It's actually something I teach as well. How to grow your confidence inside of my Beehive membership program, right? Okay, we are up to number 9. So 2 more to share with you. Number 9. I think this is a biggie as well, right? Again, this comes from conversations and things I've had and observations over the years, right? Both during my time in a direct selling company and also since I've been doing the independent business coaching over the last 5 or so years. Number 9, I would treat it like a real business. And this one is huge, right? I'd set business hours, track my numbers, plan my week, know my goals, and celebrate progress, right? Too many women accidentally run their businesses like hobbies and then wonder why the income looks like a hobby too, right? Businesses require intention, not perfection. Intention, right? Showing up, doing the do. Now, I'll share, I probably spent the first 6 months after I joined sort of doing it as a bit of a hobby, seeing how it would go because I'd never done anything like it before. I didn't know if it was going to work or whether I'd be hopeless at it. No idea, right? And I'd given myself, when I joined that company back in 2006, I gave myself 6 months to see how it would go, right? And by the end of 6 months, I was making more money in my direct selling business than I had made in my previous sort of casual part-timey jobs. I was a mum with 2 kids. I'd done a few different, jobs with the kids, but also, that always came back to too, that I actually really wanted to be predominantly at home, but I would go, a bit of extra money never goes astray. So I would, I did have some very different casual and part-time jobs over the years with the kids. And I discovered after 6 months, I was making more in my direct selling business than I'd made previously, right? And that's when I went, right, let's really take this seriously. That is when I worked out what my goals were. I set business hours. I set up, structure in my business so that I could, really take the business to where I, wanted to go. Well, you know what? I actually went into it with that mindset of, let's see how far I can take this, right? And I grew it to be a multi-million-dollar direct selling business. Go figure. Who would have thought that when I started back in 2006, right? Okay, number 10. I'd remember why I started, right? Because there would absolutely be hard days. There are hard days, right? Days where nobody comments, nobody joins, nobody buys, days where I'd question myself. I've had those days, right? I've had those days back in direct selling. I've had those days building my business coaching business as well, right? Every successful person has, okay? Everybody has these days, but your why carries you through the days. Your motivation disappears, right? Motivation comes and goes. Purpose sticks around. All right. When I look back at those 16 years I spent in direct selling, it is a bit funny because a lot of the tools have changed, Facebook has obviously changed. Like, as I said, when I got into it in 2006, Facebook didn't even exist, right? And it has become such a fabulous tool for women in direct selling and network marketing when you know how to use it right, when you understand how Facebook for Business works. It is one of the most game-changing tools for building your business, right? What else has changed? AI has arrived. Again, understanding, and look, I do actually teach quite a lot of AI inside of my Beehive membership program as well, because you know what? AI is everywhere. AI has arrived, right? Algorithms change constantly. But what I do want you to remember is people haven't changed, right? People still buy from people they trust, right? People still want genuine connection. People still want someone who understands them, right? And this is what you've got to create on Facebook. This is what you got to do on social media, right? And that's actually really encouraging, because it means you don't need to become someone else, right? You simply need to know what the right Facebook strategies are and combine those with consistent action, right? If I genuinely had to start all over again tomorrow, would I feel nervous? Absolutely. Would I know everything? No, but I'd know what matters and I'd know what doesn't, right? Because success isn't about knowing every trick Facebook has, as much as we'd like to think it is. And there's so much to learn. It still boggles the mind some days. But it is about doing the right things over and over again. So when you know what the right Facebook strategies are, when you know what the right, like other strategies as well, because Facebook is absolutely a massive tool for you in building a direct selling or network marketing business. It can open up so many avenues, and whether you want to be predominantly online or whether you want to still be doing a lot of in-person stuff as well, maybe it's events or markets and things like that. Learning how to use Facebook can absolutely still help you, even if you want to go out and do that face-to-face stuff as well, right? Because it will help you attract more people to you that are also interested in doing that face-to-face stuff, right? So here's a question I would love for you to think about this week, and I always love hearing back from you. Which of these 10 things do you think you might be missing right now? Is it confidence? Is it consistency? Is it understanding how Facebook works properly? Is it a lack of personal branding, right? Is it that you're not treating your business like a business? Like, that was just a few of them, right? You can think back over all the things I've talked about today in this episode, but I want you just to choose one, right? And don't try and fix everything this week. Just try and fix one of those, right? Master that and then build from there. And if listening today has made you realize I actually need someone in my corner to help me put all of this together, let me know, because that's exactly why I created my Beehive program that is exclusively for women. It is where I help women just like you stop guessing, stop piecing random advice together from the internet, and instead learn what the right Facebook strategies are for you to use and follow a proven roadmap for building a more successful and profitable direct selling or network marketing business. And I would love to help you too, right? I'm already helping. I've supported so many women be so much more successful in their businesses over the years. I'd absolutely love to welcome you into my program too, and give you that help. If you are interested, just flip me the word Beehive or pop it in the comments down below wherever you are watching or listening to this. I do appreciate you hanging out and spending this time with me today listening to my podcast. And of course, if you enjoyed this episode, I would be so grateful if you left a review or share it with another woman in direct selling or network marketing needs to hear it. And of course, if you are listening to this on YouTube or Spotify and you've yet to subscribe to my channel, that's totally free. Do that so you never miss an episode. And I will either see you on Facebook or I will see you next week. Bye for now.